Welcome to Real Judaism with Rabbi Ari Klapper. Unfiltered wisdom for Jewish life.
Be'ez Hashem, we're here. We're actually in the middle of Ois Beis on Daf Tzadi Vov, still talking about the essence of Menucha. That Menucha really means to rest our bodies, to re-energize. That's the purpose of rest, to give us real life back. And that is by going back to the source of life, which is Aruchnius, our connection to Hashem. Which is why, in the last week we discussed how terrible it is to waste time on Shabbos. It's terrible to waste time all the time. But on Shabbos, to kill time because I've got nothing to do is that's the worst. It's like we have the ability to recharge, and we're not plugging ourselves in, right? Why would we do that? It doesn't make any sense, except if we don't understand that that's what we have to do. So that's what it means to recharge on Shabbos, is to recharge our ruchniyic batteries, which is really our life source. So here on the top of Tzadi Zayin, he brings out a very interesting point as well, and that is Kivyochol, even Hashem doesn't rest. Right? It says that Hashem created the world in 6 days, and then on the seventh day he rested. But the Midrash tells us that there was a certain noble woman who asked, I believe it was Rabbi Yossi, now that he asked, how long did it take God to create the world? He said 6 days. And since then, what's he doing? So the Midrash says that Rabbi Yossi answered, he's a mezaveg zivugim. He's a shadchan. He's setting up couples, right? That's what he's doing. Since finishing the work of creation, he's being mezaveg zivugim. So here Pinka says, what is that? Hashem is making chiddushim. It's a chiddush. Take this boy and this girl, a new home. It's a new chiddush. So even after the 6 days, we still have to be oived in our chiddushim. We have to be working on our chiddushim. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what's the chiddushim? Chiddushim is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mezaveg zivugim. Let's read it inside on the top of Daf Tzadi Zayin. Amru Chazal al klal ma'aseh HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What is Hashem doing? Shemezaveg zivugim. He makes matches people up. Hainu she'oisik tamid kivyochol huldo is chadoshois. New homes. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is making shidduchim. Chiddush achar chiddush, ubinyan achar binyan. Another chiddush, another new home. Ein chas v'shalom batol l'panav yizbarach. Hashem is not bored. Hashem's not doing anything. Right? He's resting now. He finished creating the world. Ooh, that was tough. Right? Creating the whole world was not a simple thing to do. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the whole world in asara mamoros. Right? Hashem Kivyochel, he doesn't have a pinky, but he didn't have to lift a pinky to create the world. He didn't have to do anything to create the world. Right? So he had to work so hard because he had to rest? No, of course not. And not only that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu could have created the whole world in one maimar. He didn't have to use 10. But okay, there's things we learn from it. There's a lot of deep ideas over here. The point is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's not like left bottle. It's not that he's not doing anything. Chazal tells us he's mezaveg zivugim. What do you mean? There could be thousands of other things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing all the time. He's watching over each and every person all the time. How come it doesn't say anything about that? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is judging people all the time. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is making the world go round. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing his mechadish b'chol yom tamid maseh b'reishis. What's the purpose of this medrash? It's to show us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has chiddushim. There's a chiddush. There's something new. So even though Hashem created everything already, but now there's a new point over here. There's something new. There's a new home, a new family, right? So we should do like HaKadosh Baruch Hu as well. V'chein Am Yisrael sheish lehem tzelem elokim. Also Klal Yisrael, we have the tzelem elokim. That's really that Adam Rishon was passed. At first, it went to everybody, but only after either with Abraham Avinu or when Klal Yisrael accepted the Torah. Only Klal Yisrael is tzelem elokim. Vasim devarai bevichal, and in Torah shamayim liyisod haaretz, the Kodesh Baruch Hu put his words into our mouth so that we can establish the shamayim haaretz. That means that now we have his Torah, right? The Kodesh Baruch Hu istakel baraisa bara alma, and then he gave the Torah to Klal Yisrael, right? Istakel baraisa. Kodesh Baruch Hu looked into the Torah and he created the world. The whole essence of creation is through the Torah, and then he gave the Torah to Klal Yisrael. So what should we be doing? Also be oisek in chidushim. Beprat b'Shabbos miuchedet b'chol malhusa leros ala chiddush. V'lachein iskenu b'Shabbos hu ke'isko yizbarach lechadish chidushim livnois binyonim. We should also be creating new homes, new buildings, new structures. How do we create that? Through our limud Torah. Through learning Torah, that's how we do it. Those chidushim, that's what we should be doing. That's how we're connecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I saw a beautiful idea in a new sefer that just came out recently by Rav Lopiansky. A very nice sefer. It's a sefer, I think it's called Ben Yeshiva. A very, very nice sefer. And in the sefer, I only just got started on it, but I think it's in the 3rd chapter already. He talks about the koyach of Torah. What does Torah do? And the 3rd point that he makes on the koyach of Torah is that we connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu through Torah. And he explains that there are 3 ways to connect to somebody. You can connect to somebody on a physical level. That doesn't really apply in this situation because the Kodesh Baruch Hu is ein lo guf. Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't have a body, so we can't be close physically. And then there's an emotional level. So there's certainly some kind of emotional connection that a person could have to Kodesh Baruch Hu, but he didn't go into that. He also said there, as an aside, gave marmokum why the emotional level is not really the main type of connection. And the 3rd connection, and he says is the closest connection, is what's called kiruv das. Kiruv das means that you're close to somebody because you think alike. You have the same approach to life. You have the same mahalach in life. You think like each other. You know, when a person starts to learn Torah and he asks a good question, and his Rebbe says, "Oh, you know who asked that question? Tosus asked that question." That shows that you're starting to think like the Torah thinks. It means you're asking a good question like that. That shows you're starting to think the right way, the way the Torah thinks. That's what Torah does. The kiruv das means the Torah is basically Hashem's word. Hashem is telling you, you want to know me? Learn the Torah. Then you'll know me. And the more you learn the Torah, the more you associate with the Torah, the more you start to think like the Torah is, the more you start to think like Hashem. And that's how you can have the real closeness to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And really, I think I mentioned this before, but that is the ultimate love that a person can have for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How do you know? We say it every day. Every day at Mariv. What's the bracha that we say at Mariv? Avas oilam beis Yisrael amcha hafta. An everlasting love. You love Klal Yisrael. Hashem, you love Klal Yisrael with a love that never ends. What's the next line? Torah mitzvahs chukim mishpatim osanu lemata. You taught us your Torah. You know how we see that you love us? Because you gave us your Torah. That's how we see it. And what do we say back now? Al kain. We say therefore, Hashem Elokeinu. Now Klal Yisrael is making a declaration. Hashem v'shachveinu, when we lay down, when we sit down, v'kumeinu, when we get up, nasiach b'chukecha. You know what our talk is going to be about? It's going to be about your Torah. V'nismach b'divrei sorechtecha. And we're going to be happy about your Torah. U'b'mitzvah yisech lo'olam, and your Torah and your mitzvahs forever. We're saying back to Hashem, you're showing us love with your Torah. We're going to take that Torah and we're going to love it. Because the Torah is our life. That's why that's why we're going to do it all day and all night. And please, Hashem ha'avoscha, and your love, please don't ever remove it from Klal Yisrael. This is the ultimate connection between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Klal Yisrael. This is the Torah. So what better time when we recharge our batteries with Torah on Shabbos? Back inside in the 2nd paragraph on Daf Tzadi Zayin, Lachein Kasu B'Svarim HaKadoshim. That's why it's brought down also in the Mishnah Berurah. You know, some people think Svarim HaKadoshim just means like Zohar and you know, Kabbalistic Svarim and Mishnah Berurah. From the Mishnah Berurah, sheyesh inyan miyuchad lechadesh chidushim b'Torah, chidushay Torah b'yom HaShabbos. There's an inyan dafka to have chidushim on Shabbos. Shezeh mamish mahusah shel Shabbos. That is the essence of Shabbos. Ve'en lecha novel b'rishus haTorah chilul Shabbos al taras hakodesh k'mo lischok b'kadur b'Shabbos or shachmat. That's how we should be spending our day, not involved in mundane things. Now, we have to be careful with this. I'll tell you why. You have to be careful. Because somebody who's going to come to Chilul Shabbos because they're bored, well, we don't want that. That's the worst, right? That's the worst. Better to sleep all day than to do Chilul Shabbos, right? So every person has to know. Pinkus is coming to tell us really how should we spend Shabbos? This is the best way to spend Shabbos. Don't kill Shabbos. Don't kill time on Shabbos. Use Shabbos every second you can use it. And obviously they're madregas. There's some people who don't even sleep on Shabbos. They have to learn Shabbos every second. They have to be involved with Ruchnias every second. That's a very high madrega. And some people, you try to get them to be a little bit more Ruchnias. Everybody on their madrega. 5 more minutes of learning is better than the previous week. Then they have 5 less minutes. That's already a madrega. Somebody who tries to jump too far is going to end up falling. And then,
when you go so for your Shabbos, I know Kabbalah, and that 5 minutes more to far night, 10 minutes more to 5 minutes for Shabbos day. That's called 10 minutes. Guess how many minutes on the week? 10,080.
See, but Mayor, you're on a madrega. You're on a very high madrega.
So 1 minute is 1,000 minutes.
There you go. Right? You got even more star on Shabbos.
So therefore, I mean, calculation that I go 5 minutes for night and Shabbos day, and then 5 minutes, then 5 minutes of Shabbos, so 2 minutes. I could get that if I not told you.
Yeah, there you go. But you see, that's a madrega.
No, I didn't say that. I said 5 minutes.
It's true. But for some people, even 5 minutes is hard. And the fact that you even made the cheshbon in the first place shows that you're on a madrega. We have to realize that every person has to really take their cheshbon. Where am I holding? What am I doing? Am I going to start learning 24 hours? Shabbos is 25 hours, so I'll learn 24 out of 25 hours, right? It's not shaykh. But like what you just said, Mary, you take a cheshbon. Can I really learn maybe another 5 minutes? Is that really so hard to do another 5 minutes?
5 minutes more and 5 minutes halach.
There you go. So 10 minutes. Is it really so hard to learn another? Is it so hard? So yes, it's not a good thing. Don't kill Shabbos. If we can be cheshbon our time so well, that's great. But every person has to know you can't jump too far, too fast. But if we make an effort and we put in a little bit more time, you'll see it's not such a big deal. It's not such a big deal. Really not. I myself daily have one Seder that's 4.5 minutes. That's my Seder. 4.5 minutes Seder. On the clock. I time it. Right? 4.5 minutes. Bez Hashem, in another month and a half, 2 months, I'll be finishing the Masechta on that 4.5 minutes Seder. What is that? It's so hard. You can spend 4.5 minutes. You can't spend 4.5 minutes. Anybody, like, what are you asking me already? You have to choose the right time also. You've got to be smart about it, right? I'm not going to choose a time where I know that my brain is already going to be at like 10%, right? That's not a good time. Maybe after you finish eating the cholent and you feel like you're going to pass out is not the time to try to get those extra 5 minutes in. Maybe not. But maybe we can get the 5 minutes in a different time. Maybe in the winter, Friday night's the better time to do it. And maybe in the summer, the daytime is the better time to do it. Everybody can do what they can. But really, that's what Shabbos is for. Shabbos is to connect back to our true selves, to connect back to that love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to recharge our real life. That's what Shabbos is for. Now, in Ois Gimel, he asks a very simple question. The question that he asks is, if a person is supposed to rest on Shabbos, well, then how am I going to eat? Meaning, I need somebody to bring me the food, right? I need workers. I need people to do all the work. Like when you go to a hotel, that's the the second paragraph over here, he brings this marshal of a hotel. When you go away on vacation and you have you're going to a hotel, and you get to your room, and the room is not made up. There are dirty sheets everywhere, dirty towels. Like, I thought I'm supposed to get a new room. Sorry, the cleaning service is off today. They're also on vacation. And you get down to the dining room, and there's no food, or there's dirty dishes and dirty, and the table's like, what happened over here? Sorry, the waiters and the cooking staff and everybody's on vacation too. What do you mean? I'm on vacation. They go on vacation next week. When I'm here, they're supposed to be working so that I can be on vacation, right? I'm the one who I'm paying for the hotel. I want to be on vacation. So then I don't understand. How could everybody stop working? If everybody stops working, who's going to take care of me? Who's going to serve me when I'm supposed to be resting? So LMI, it must be that the rest is something a little bit different than what we expect. Rest is not vacation. In Hebrew, vacation is translated, the Hebrew word is chofesh. Chofesh is a word that represents hefkerus. It represents not having responsibilities. That's what vacation means. I have no responsibilities. They use the word chofesh when a person dies. When a person dies, he's chofshi mi mitzvahs. He doesn't have responsibility to do mitzvahs anymore once a person's dead, right? But we call a person who's free, we don't call him chofesh. We call it a ben chorin, right? A ben chorin. And ein ben chorin ela misha oisik b'Torah, like it says in Avos. That's cherus. That's what freedom is. Chofshi doesn't mean freedom. Chofshi means having no responsibilities. Is that what Shabbos is? Shabbos is about having no responsibilities. I have no responsibilities on Shabbos. That's not what the purpose of Shabbos is. It's not a chofesh. Turning the page on the top of Tzadi Ches. Imkein eze hezber yesh bekvios oiso yom menucha la'adon la'eved. Does it make sense that the vacation day, the day that we're off, it should be the same thing, same day for the master and the servant? You imagine everybody goes to the beach on their off day, but guess who else it's the off day for? The lifeguard. He's also off, so there's no lifeguard there, right? That's not a very good place to go, right? Not a good idea to do that, because everybody's off, all off on the same day. That's what it is. That's what Shabbos is. Even the animals that you don't work with on Shabbos, you don't make them work on Shabbos. What happens if you have to go very, very far? People not here in Mapei Shemesh, Baruch Hashem, we have a shul almost on every single corner, right?
But
And
your shul is here.
That's
and
true.
You live in the Menucha.
That's true. Sometimes we do walk because I want to daven at a specific shul. That's true. Right? But nobody here is walking an hour to go to shul, right? Unless for extreme situations, like you have to go all the way to Scheinfeld for a simcha or something like that, right? You have to walk clear across Beit Shemesh, and then in which case you might have to ask Shilas about Eruv Tchumim between Aleph and Beis, and fine. I'm not going to get into all the halachas right now. L'maise, there are places in the world, in order to get to shul, you have to walk an hour, or right?
And for a couple of years, it was like Mishkafayim.
Okay. All right. And you have to walk up a mountain in Mishkafayim too.
Yeah. And also, my mother was in till he had to walk to Israel good 20 minutes.
There you go. So as I said, there are certain places. So is that called being on vacation? Why can't I just get a ride? Why can't I get on my horse and let's go? Right? No, you can't do that. What do you mean? I thought I'm supposed to be resting. Shabbos is not our day that we can rest and do whatever we want. It's the day of rest for Hashem. Haksuvim Eitel Shabbos Eino Bikra Me'omal Hamalocha Klal Klal. When we're talking about resting, we're not talking about resting from amelus, from working, from what's a better word for amelus is not work. It's toiling, right? Meaning manual labor, let's say. But really, amelus is more than that because you can have amelus in Torah too. What really are we resting from? We're not resting from work. We're resting from olam hazeh. We're not being involved in olam hazeh. That's what real rest is. It's not a physical world anymore. Now it's a holy world. We are not being involved with the materialism of this world. Materialism even means the most basic things. We're not going to be involved with it. The food that we eat is prepared before Shabbos. We don't get involved in all the physical aspects of this world on Shabbos because it's a holy day. The day is a different day. It's Hashem's day. If it's Hashem's day, and Hashem says, I want everybody to be with me on that day, that's everybody. Not just you, but your servants as well. The animals as well. Nobody can do work. You cannot make your servants do work. You cannot make your animals do work. You can't. You know why? Because it's not your day to decide. It's not your vacation day. You're not on vacation on Shabbos. You're a guest. You're a guest on Hashem's day. Shekulam bruyim shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because we're all creations of Hashem. We call Maisa Bereishis mizumanim lishtatei b'menucha zu. All of creation has to be mishtatef. Now we discussed already previously in previous chalakim that theoretically goyim would be included in this as well. They would, right? But we said over there that there's another aspect of Shabbos, and that's this special relationship. It was a gift that was given to Kalal Yisrael. So that's why a goy can't accept it.
You can't get the goat.
That's true. He can't ask. It's a din d'Rabbanan, but you're not allowed to ask a goy to do malacha for you. Again, every person should ask a shaila halachically in situations where the tzarech gadol and it's maybe two d'Rabbanans and different things. Everybody can ask their own shaila when such a thing comes up. But be'etzim, goyim are not shaykh to this day, even though they are shaykh to creation, and that's for other reasons. I in previous shurim or previous parts of the sefer. Here, really, all of creation. That means if I'm a Jew and I have Shabbos, then my servants can't do work for me either. And it also means that my animals can't do work for me on Shabbos. Because it's not my day of vacation. It's Hashem's day. And we're all included in Hashem's days. And we're all equal. So it's not my day to rest physically. It's my day to be removed from this physicalness of this world. And that's the same thing for all of creation. That means my servants and my animals as well. He adds one more idea. B'shem Talmud Chacham, B'tzadik Rabbi Yitzchak Lipshitz, Zatzal, brings in the name from Antipola, who was a Bocher in Yeshivas Chevron, who passed away in 1926, it looks like, 1926 or 27. Raya Shabbos Eino Kedei Linoach Me'alma Malacha. He brings a raya proof. How do you know that Shabbos is Eino Kedei Linoach Me'alma Malacha? It's not. Shabbos wasn't meant that you should just not work hard. Sharei Adam Arisha Nivra B'Yom Hashishi. Before the first Shabbos, Adam Arisha was created. Miyad Ba Shabbos Menucha. Adam Arisha did the first chet. He ate from the Eitz Hadas even before there was Shabbos. Even before Shabbos existed in the world. And then came Shabbos. He didn't have to rest from work. He never did any work. He didn't do any work. What work did he do? So what was he resting from? It wasn't that man had to stop their work. Oh, I worked so hard this week, and now I get to rest. Other Mauritian didn't work. So what's he resting for? The first Shabbos. It's not what it's about. Again, the main idea here is that, you know what Shabbos is about? Shabbos is about separating from Olam Hazeh. We are no longer involved with the inyonim of Olam Hazeh because all of Olam Hazeh becomes Kadosh because Hashem is here. And when Hashem is here, so we connect to Hashem. It's Hashem's day. And Hashem says, I don't want you involved. So that applies to everybody. Not just me, but the guy and the cleaning staff was supposed to clean my hotel room. And it applies to the waiters. And it applies to the cooking staff. And it applies to everybody. Because we're all servants of Hashem. And we all have to rest from the physical aspects of the world in order to connect to the kedusha of Shabbos. And this happens every week. It's amazing. Every single week we have this opportunity. We just have to remind ourselves every week. We have this chance to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Maybe it's something that we take for granted. Maybe it's something we just don't understand. But we have that opportunity, that potential to really rest, to recharge our Ruchni's batteries in order to really, really live and get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, we have another few minutes, so I just want to start today, Perek Hey, the parish of Ata Echad. Parish of Ata Echad is beautiful. It's a beautiful idea. There's a lot of very, very deep things. Ata Echad is the one paragraph that we say differently at Shabbos Mincha. Ata Echad v'shimcha echad mi ka'am Yisrael goy echad ba'aretz. It's a very interesting paragraph we say. When you look at the tefillas on Shabbos, it's very interesting because all the tefillas are different. It's the only day that all the tefillas are different, right? The Yomim Tovim, Musaf is different. Musaf is always different. Rosh Chodesh Musaf is different, and each one of the Yomim Tovim is different. Yom Kippur is different. Rosh Hashanah is different. But if you look at Shachris, Mincha, and Mariv, Shachris, Mincha, and Mariv of Rosh Chodesh are all the same. Shachris, Mincha, and Mariv of each one of the Yomim Tovim is the same. Shachris, Mincha, and Mariv of Rosh Hashanah is the same. Shachris, Mincha, and Mariv of Yom Kippur is the same. The only place where the tefillas, each one of the tefillas are different, is Shabbos. And it's even brought down, I saw them in the Dishnu Mishabura, they bring from the Abu Draham that each one of the tefillas represents something else. The first tefillah on Friday night and on Mariv is Ata Kidashta. Ata Kidashta is Yom HaShavi L'Shmecha. It brings that Ata Kidashta represents Kiddushin. Kiddushin is the initial stage of marriage. The Kiddushin between Klal Yisrael and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's Ata Kidashta. And then Shabbos Day, remind me, what do we say on Shabbos Day? Yismach Moshe, right? That's the simcha. That's the simcha of the nisuin, of the marriage. What? That's also, but Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov is also mentioned. All three of them are mentioned in Mincha. Okay. This the Abu Draham brings, and the third one is Ata Echad. That's the yichud. That's the yichud between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Klal Yisrael. Abu Draham Rishon. So here in this paragraph, Perek Hey, he brings what's the parish of this tefillah that we say at Mincha on Shabbos, every Shabbos, Ata Echad, and how the tefillah itself brings out these points that we made up until this point in the Sefer. So we're going to try, this parak is going to take a little while. So we're going to start a little bit today. We'll start to talk from the beginning. Ata Echad. What's pshat in the words Ata Echad? Says Reb Pinkus, Ata Echad. Ze be'emes hamaskona hayotzes mimachus haShabbos v'yesod chiddush ha'olam. This is the be-all and end-all of what Shabbos is. Ata Echad. Hashem, you are the only one. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you created the whole world, and you can change the world, and all the world doesn't have any rules because it's your world. You can bend and break, and really there are no rules. And the truth of the matter is that I saw a beautiful idea in Rav Dessler in Michta Eliyahu. He says a beautiful idea. He says that it looks like certain things are nature, the way the world runs, basically, and then there's certain things that are miraculous, supernatural, they call them. And they don't go based on the normal rules of nature. There's nature and supernature. So you might say that nature is the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu set it up to run on its own. And supernatural is when Hashem gets involved and he changes a few things. It's not true. Rav Dessler said it's not true. Nature is Hashem's involvement every second. It's just that He created a certain way in order there should be bechira. If you knew that there was a cause and effect, that's how you could have a bechira. I'm choosing one thing. I know if I choose this thing, it can affect something else. So that's a cause and effect that Hashem put there in order for the person to have bechira. But really, He is the one who's running the world. He's the one who every single thing is being run directly by Him. And He gives a beautiful mashal. Imagine for a second, if when a person died, you buried him, and the body would decompose, and after it decomposes, it starts to sprout and grow a whole new body. And then, boom, pops out of the ground, a whole new body. Would that be the most miraculous thing in the world? Wow, that would sound crazy, but that's exactly what happens. A seed you put into the ground, it decomposes into almost nothing. And then, boom, it starts to sprout. And all of a sudden, that one seed can become, depending on what you planted, 1,000 seeds. How did that happen?
I've been hearing them around here, because there are different seasons everywhere for the chaos.
Yeah.
Same idea.
Yeah, they just sprout out of the ground. But here we're talking about every year it's something like that. Not just once every however many years that happens. Can you imagine? Now, now this would be super miraculous, and the other one is just like regular. Now, imagine, for example, they were switched, right? Imagine that it was natural for a human being to pop out of the ground, and the seed, well, that would be crazy if that would happen. Who decides which one is which? It's exactly the same thing, but one thing is normal, and the other thing is miraculous. Says Rav Dessler, that just shows you that HaKadosh Baruch Hu decides this one is this way and that one is that way. They're both HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's not that one is nature and Hashem just lets it go on its own. Hashem is constantly running the world every single nekuda, just as much as it would be a miracle for such a thing to happen to a human being. That's how much of it's a miracle that it actually does happen to a seed. So when we're talking about Ata Echad, Hashem, we're saying, you are the only true one. You are everything. All of creation is yours, and you created it from nothing. Ata Echad, Hashem Yisbarach Hu Yichudu Shaloylam. Umemela is called HaMetzius Ve'en Oid Milvado. That you are everything. All of existence is only you. Shekeven Shekol HaMetzius HaMechudeshes Hi Mimenu Yisbarach. Since all of existence is only because you renew it. Nimsa Mohusa Shal Kol HaMetzius Eina Ela Ritzoni Yisbarach. Comes out that everything is only because you will it to be. Because you are HaKadosh Baruch Hu want it to be that way. Umamaros Kadsho. On your will, your words, wills this to exist. So that's what we're saying in the words, Ata Echad. You are the only true one. Everything in existence is only because of you. Okay, we're going to stop over here. Continue Bez Hashem next week. We need to...
Thank you for joining Real Judaism, where we explore Torah's wisdom for real life. Created by J Foundations and produced by Eli Podcast Productions. Find more episodes at realjudaism.org and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.